Welcome back, dear viewers. We are on Asian Vibes and we are in conversation with Dreeni Geer, the Director of Human Rights and Equity at Lakehead University. So, Dreeni, I believe you have been in Thunder Bay in your childhood. You visited Thunder Bay before.
Yeah.
Tell us about your linkage with this little town.
Sure. So, actually, my paternal grandparents immigrated to Thunder Bay from Guyana. So, and we used to come and visit the family. I had another aunt that lived here and an uncle. And so we used to come visit the family at Christmas time or during the summer. So for me, Thunder Bay was a memory from childhood. And since that time, my family has moved out. So there are no Geers here as far as I know. But when this job came up, my family was like, wow, the Geers are returning to Thunder Bay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was that a big factor when you were deciding to take up this position?
Well, I definitely, it wasn't a foreign place for me. And at that time when I was applying for this position, I was still living in Uganda. So just to get back into the province where my family are all based in Mississauga and Toronto. So to come back into the province for me was, you know, compared to being in Africa, Thunder Bay was like being next door.
And what connections with India or Asia in general?
So my family, we are Indo-Guyanese. So we're part of the Indian diaspora that left India about 150 years ago. And so for me personally, because I have worked in South Asia as well, I still feel very Asian and connected to Asia. Yeah.
What does Dreeni do when she is not advocating human rights and equity issues to people?
That's a hard question because I do that so much of my time. But actually I do yoga, I cycle, I'm an avid reader, also a music collector. I like to listen to a lot of music, and I'm a single mom, so raising my daughter as well. Yeah.
Any community engagement that you're involved with?
Well, since I've moved to Thunder Bay, which has just been, 9 months ago, I'm looking to try to get on a couple boards. I've been doing a few guest speaking positions here and there, and I just think community connections are really, really important. So I'm actually trying to build something through Lakehead with an interdisciplinary working group on human rights. And we're definitely going to be reaching directly out to community groups who are engaged in different human rights issues.
And when you go out to the community, what kind of response you get there?
Very positive.
What kind of questions do they ask you?
Well,
what would they want to know?
Yeah, well, many times people are interested, why did I come to Thunder Bay? And so when I tell them that, you know, we did have family here, I see that people are very pleased to hear that. But the community has been very responsive, and sometimes when I think I'm giving the most long, boring speeches, the kind of interest and you know, the attention I get for what I'm saying is really pleasing to me. So I feel like, oh, okay, I am a value addition, and I feel very happy to be here.
When you give these speeches, do you or have you ever come across this hushed silence about this subject, this topic? Is there any hesitation with regards to opening up and talking more about it? Because I feel that there is a need to talk about these topics.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I've always been, you know, living and working in much bigger cities, and so, and probably much more diverse cities. So I'm also a bit trepidatious when I give speeches about, you know, what's the reception going to be, and am I coming on too strong? Am I talking too heavily about issues that maybe people are just beginning to learn about or grapple with? But I find so far people are just asking for more. They will say, you know, tell us more, Dreeni, give us more information. And there hasn't been that real pushback. There's just been a lot of, okay, great, I'm learning more, and I want to know even more than that.
There is that interest to know more, to be informed about.
Definitely.
Yeah, because all of us have different lives, but that doesn't, you know, deter from having that equality issue.
And what I try to always touch upon is you know, whether you are actually part of an equity-seeking group, I still think that everybody has the capacity to understand oppression. Because whether we feel oppression based on our race or our gender or religion, we also have oppression in different ways. So, you know, I think we all have experiences of being the last one picked for a team, or, you know, the person that didn't get invited to that party, or these very sort of micro examples of feeling like an outsider. And I think if we tap into those feelings and try to broaden it to really understand, or as much as we can empathize and feel compassion for those who who are put outside because they are not part of the mainstream. I think we can all really tap into that human rights activist in all of us.
And sometimes the onus lies on both the parties, right? Like, who are you asking to be accommodated more than the other? Is there any such issue like that?
Well, I think one thing I'm always saying is, you know, we cannot create space for others until we make that space. So it's very easy to say, yes, we're a multicultural society. Yes, we embrace everyone. But until sometimes we step out of, those in power step out of that position or allow room for others, there is not going to be space. So many times when I'm talking and I'm targeting, I'm often targeting decision makers, power holders, to say, listen, we have to sometimes give up power if we want to have a truly egalitarian society. We cannot hold all the power and say, yes, we're all equal. Sometimes we have to let go of that power. And oftentimes when we let go of that power and share it, we actually have a much richer society and community for everyone.
And what I liked about what you just mentioned was make space, open those platforms, widen those networks, right?
Absolutely, because I think as much as there is a role for advocates and activists, many communities, many equity-seeking groups, they are the experts on their problems and the solutions.
True.
And we just often need to make space so that they can tell us what they're going through and what are the solutions.
Thank you. Any last closing special messages for the youth or for the community in general?
Well, as I mentioned, I think the two main components of any human rights, anything, is really it's compassion and it's humility. And I think we have to recognize that societally, we are in a society that often teaches a lot of prejudicial notions. So we often have to assume, we should assume that we might hold prejudices. And that's the humility piece. So if we feel that we've already been kind of programmed in a sometimes way that promotes discrimination, if we recognize this and be humble, we can actually then, you know, put aside our ego and feel compassion for others and do the right thing.
Yeah. And before we close, where are you located in LU?
So I'm in the Chancellor Patterson Library on the 5th floor.
Oh, you're on the library. Okay.
Yes, and so everyone's always welcome to come and knock at our door. Myself, as well as our sexual violence coordinator, are located on the 5th floor.
Even if it's beyond LU community?
Well, unfortunately, my office is really just for Lakehead University community and visitors to the university as well.
But soon maybe you'll be contributing to the community through the boards that you will join.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Dreeni. We wish you all the very, very best in not only settling down, or you're already settled, establishing your office and doing all this great work. Thank you so much. It has been very, very reflective, and I really enjoyed talking to you, Dreeni.
Thanks very much, Roopa. Nice to be here.
Thank you, viewers. Till we meet again, stay well.